Jack London, The Unexpected, Part 3. Storm followed storm, and between the storms there was the silence, broken only by the boom of the surf on the desolate shore, where the salt spray rimmed in the beach with frozen white. All went well in the cabin. The gold dust had weighed up something like $8,000, and they could not but be contented. The men made snowshoes, hunted fresh meat for the larder, and in the long evenings played endless games of whist and Pedro. Now that the mining had ceased, Edith Nelson turned over the fire building and the dishwashing to the men while she darned their socks and mended their clothes. There was no grumbling, no bickering, no pretty quarreling in the little cabin, and they often congratulated one another on the general happiness of the party. Hans Nelson was stolid and easygoing, while Edith had long before won his unbounded admiration, but her capacity for getting on with people. Harky, a lank Texan, was unusually friendly for one with a saturnine disposition, and as long as his theory that gold grew was not challenged, was quite companionable. The fourth member of the party, Michael Dennin, contributed his Irish wit to the gaiety of the cabin. He was a large, powerful man, prone to sudden rushes of anger over little things, and of unfailing good humor under the stress and strain of big things. The fifth and last member, Dutchy, was the willing butt of the party. He even went out of his way to raise a laugh at his own expense in order to keep things cheerful. His deliberate aim in life seemed to be that of a maker of laughter. No serious quarrel had ever vexed the serenity of the party, and now that each had $1,600 to show for a short summer's work, there reigned the well-fed, contented spirit of prosperity. And then the unexpected happened. They had just sat down to the breakfast table. Though it was already 8 o'clock, late breakfast had followed naturally upon cessation of the steady work at mining. A candle in the neck of a bottle lighted the meal. Edith and Hans sat at each end of the table. On one side, with their backs to the door, sat Harky and Dutchy. The place on the other side was vacant. Dennin had not yet come in. Hans Nelson looked at the empty chair, shook his head slowly, and with a ponderous attempt at humor said, "Always is the first at the group. It is very strange. Maybe he's sick." "Where is Michael?" Edith asked. "Got up a little ahead of us and went outside," Harky answered. Dutchy's face beamed mischievously. He pretended knowledge of Denim's absence and affected a mysterious air while they clamored for information. Edith, after a peep into the men's bunk room, returned to the table. Hans looked at her, and she shook her head. "He was never late at mealtime before," she remarked. "I can't understand," said Hans. "Always has he the great appetite like the horse." "It is too bad," Dutchy said with a sad shake of his head. They were beginning to make merry over their comrade's absence. "It is a great pity," Dutchy volunteered. "What?" they demanded in choirs. "Poor Michael," was the mournful reply. "Well, what's wrong with Michael?" Harkley asked. "He is not hungry no more," wailed Dutchy. "He has lost the appetite. He do not like the grub, not from the way he pitches into it up to his ears," remarked Harkley. "He does not trust to be delightful to Mrs. Nelson," was Dutchy's quick report. I know, and it is too bad. Why is he not here?" "Because he has gone out." "Why have he gone out?" "For the development of the appetite." "How does he develop your appetite?" "He walks barefoot in the snow." "Ugh! Don't I know? It is the way the rich peoples chases after their appetite when it is no more and is running away. Michael have $1,600. He is rich peoples. He has no appetite. Therefore, because he is chasing the appetite, just you open the door and you will see his barefoot in the snow." "No, you will not see your appetite. That is just his trouble. When he sees the appetite, he will catch it and come to breakfast." They burst into loud laughter at Dutch's nonsense. The sound had scarcely died away when the door opened and Deneen came in. All turned to look at him. He was carrying a shotgun. Even as they looked, he lifted it to his shoulder and fired twice.